What's slacking, slackers? Let me know you hear me fine. What's going on? Are you guys ready to bench a little bit? Do some 32M love? Let me know you guys if you can hear the stream and everything. I think it's up. I don't know. It's been a while trying to figure it out. Let's see. Let me adjust a couple things. See if I can use a mouse over here. Ah, perfect. You guys hear me all right? Let me know what's going on. Yeah, sweet. So what's going on, guys? It's been a while. Got some cool new announcements going on. We're obviously going to bench some cool stuff on liquid nitrogen. But yeah, I got a couple cool announcements. Figured might as well live stream about it. It's been a while. Got to get back into the groove or the... I don't know. Just got to get back into it. So I figured, what's the greatest way to do it, Ben? Let's do some benching, right? So I wanted to let you guys know a little bit before we get started on the liquid nitrogen setup and start talking about that. But yeah, I don't know if you guys check out the studio a little bit. We got some pretty cool changes. We got the TV on the wall. We got the New York City skyline. If you guys don't know, I'm from Jersey originally, so we got that play. Got my father-in-law's guitar. Oh, you guys can't see that, but... Oh, man. Sorry. It's been a little bit. I was trying to run and get some liquid nitrogen in the tank. If you ever watch Gamers Nexus streams and you ever see the tank just go... Well, it got stuck, so I had to bang that thing real hard. And I was trying to get liquid nitrogen before the stream, so... A little rusty, so bear with me a little bit. And plus, I'm thirsty. That light, though... Yeah, the light's a little bit too strong. Let me adjust it a little bit. It's kind of driving me nuts. So, let's see. See if we can tone it down a little bit. There's only certain adjustments on there, but... Oh, yes. I wish I had my other light. My other light over there is actually much better. But yeah, so we're going to end up playing with the 11900K today. I figured might as well do 32M setup. I got some cool news. So, I don't know if you guys see my community post, but we have some new liquid nitrogen pots. So, if you ever look at Burning OC, or if you look in the description below, you can actually see where you can get these puppies. They're massively awesome. So, these are pretty much like the best liquid nitrogen pots out. So, what's the difference between them? Well, this one's a little bit smaller for smaller platform chips. If you notice, obviously, stuff like Threadripper, the chips are like monstrous, so you need a really big base, and that's what this one's for. A lot of the boards, though, are kind of limited with like how big you can make a base. So we have the smaller one to be able to use it for pretty much all the smaller platforms. So pretty much this platform. So yeah, so we might as well just get started, talk about the setup a little bit. We're using G-Skill Trident Z Royals, or actually no, these are just older Trident Zs. What's nice about the new platform on the 11900K, the old B die, so basically I think it's the A1 B die or A0 B die, are much more usable now on the newer platform because the IMC's technically stronger. So, oh yes, I'll just wait for a couple people to arrive. Man, I'm not digging that light today, huh? I would change. Let's see if we could change it up a little bit before we get started. Or let's try that a little bit. See if that makes it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. It's hard to tell with a screen because it goes through. Seems a little bright. I don't know. Worse? Better? Who knows? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be benching one of my favorite benchmarks of all time. We've got the Super Pi 32M. And what this is doing, I don't know if you guys have heard of Pi before. You know, 3.14, and it goes on for like ever and ever and ever and ever. Oh, man. Dude, this light's killing me. Just give me one more second. Gotta adjust these lights. I'm gonna have to start. I need a different light, I think, on this one. Try. Move it around a bit. Makes it tough when you haven't streamed in a while, so. But yes. Yes, 32M is the best benchmark. Finally to mount the pot. Yes, like I was saying before, we're using Trident Z. These are like pretty much like a A1 or A0 beat eye. They're really really old, but they're really really good. On the newer platforms, you usually can't use the newer beat eye. Well, you can, but it's just the older ones. It's kind of better to use the older ones because you can go tighter. It depends on like what you're trying to go for. For 32M, it's kind of on the better side. So, let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna deal with that light for now. We're gonna be playing around, so I'd rather focus on the bench setup than focusing on the light. So, yeah. So let's see. So we went over pretty much the memory we have. We're using Burning OC's pots over here, Pascal. These are the Reactor 2 and Reactor 3. The Reactor 3 is, I would say, there's a lot of awesomeness in this little package right here. To be honest, it's got more surface area. Basically, the whole key about these is that the more surface area, the more there is that the LN2 can soak in, right? So the more surface area you have, the more, I don't know, the quicker you can pull it down. So it's quite interesting to use these pots compared to like the old style. The old style, you got a torch, and then you get a lot of water buildup, and then they lose efficiency after a while. And these are actually really cool. You just keep going. Like you can just bench for a while and use a way less liquid nitrogen. It's kind of crazy because you guys have seen me bench a bunch of stuff before, and we go through lots and lots of liquid nitrogen. With these liquid nitrogen pots, it's actually quite different. It's actually so efficient to the point where I have to just use this much liquid nitrogen like pour. It's kind of weird. Still getting used to it, but it really works really, really awesome. So, let's take some more questions, and then we're going to get into it. It says, I'm assuming somewhere in 3866 to 4133, 1211, 1T, Gear 1 range. You're pretty close. Welcome back, you bloody Viking. What's going on, oh? A0 beat-eye is older stuff to my knowledge. One crucial used A1 for a very short run of Microton E-die. Any chance you could join the HWBot low clock competition? I kind of already... No, I guess I never did. I did it, but I never posted. So, if you guys don't know about the competitions, over at HWBot, they have what's called a low clock competition. So what that means is instead of going for like 7 gigahertz or the like really high frequencies where you need liquid nitrogen, we basically lock all the clocks down to 5 gigahertz. So basically you can run it with pretty much almost anything. They have a 5 gig challenge for AMD, and then they have a 5 gig challenge for Intel. So 5 gigahertz you can pretty much do on water or air. Water I do highly recommend because the IMC does tend to get hot when you start pushing the IMC voltages. It does start to get a little hotter than most. So I highly recommend our water setup. The last time I ran the 5 gigahertz challenge, I don't know, I'll have to bring up a screenshot when we get started, and I'll kind of show you where we are at for as efficiency. So, I don't know, let's take a little bit more question, or, I don't know, let's just get into it, because I haven't poured any liquid nitrogen in a while, and I'm kind of itching to do it, so. Let me have a nice little drink here. If you guys haven't noticed, I've gotten a little slim now. I've lost like 25 pounds, trying to get a lot of energy, and, I don't know, try to keep up with that little one. The little man's growing like a weed, and he's got so much energy, I can barely keep up anymore. So, we want to be able to have some fun with him, and, I don't know, just do a lot more stuff. I've been catching up on a lot of different things. So, yeah, I guess let's just get started, make sure everything's booting up. I guess we can go over the rest of the setup. We went G-Skill Trident Z memory. We got this awesome liquid nitrogen pot. Highly recommend if you want to get into LN2 stuff to get these pots. You can go with the smaller base or the bigger base. I haven't used the bigger base yet. We're going to save this one for another stream down the road. Basically do some Threadripper. We got some 32 core Threadripper, and then I got the 64 core. If you guys remember on Gamers Nexus stream where we did the 64 core, I never actually hit 5 gigahertz. So this is redemption time. We're going to use this pot, and we're going to try to do that at another time on Twitch. So, and I have nothing against YouTube right now, but I tend to run into many issues with streaming on YouTube where they demonetize and they kind of mess up the views and stuff. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be streaming a lot more on Twitch. So basically what the goal is for the channel now is that we're gonna end up starting to do some vlog videos. I do way too much to try to break it down and to kind of categorize it or try to stick it into one type of video. So we're gonna start doing vlogs on this channel. We'll still do streams on YouTube, just not as much. And when we're doing some tinkering and just playing around, kind of figuring things out, or just trying to find new ways to do things, because I'm always trying to find new ways to do things. So, but we're gonna end up doing that on Twitch. So make sure you go down in the description, check out Bearded Hardware on Twitch, and yeah. So the whole goal with that is probably around, I'm thinking on Friday that we're gonna do a Twitch stream to start it out, and we're gonna end up doing it. The goal is to probably do anywhere between 2 to 3 times a week on Twitch, and at least 1 to 2 times on YouTube. So now that my work is kind of dying down a little bit, and I can get some room for activities and time to play, that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna spend most of my time with you guys. So, all right, I think now that that's over, let's do a commercial too. Let's talk about Patreon, right? Patreon is basically what supports this channel. We have a great group over in the Discord. So when you sign up for Patreon, you go right to Discord and you get to meet a bunch of cool people. If you're having issues with your build, troubleshooting, you need new gear, like say you're trying to build something like this puppy. This is my buddy's machine. We're just waiting for an RGB controller. And the motherboard itself doesn't have it on there, so I needed to find an RGB controller. So what do? I put it up in the Discord, and we had a bunch of people recommend what they're using. So I ended up picking up one, and it's going to come in today so we can finish off this puppy. I'm not going to show too much of it. I just want you to... It makes for a good background right now. But I don't want to turn on all the RGB, because when you turn on the default RGB, it technically doesn't look too good. So, I don't know. I want it to be, like, glorious when we turn it on and I show you with all the nice colors, and not going to do all the... Nothing against rainbows or anything, but I'm just not a big fan of all the, I don't know, the default RGB colors. I feel like they need to be a little bit more manly, you know? But anyways. Can't you stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? That's kind of been one of the issues. That's why we're going to try to separate them a little bit. You run into legality issues where you can only have a certain thing on one channel at one time. You really can't stream and not break rules by going to both. So that's one of the reasons why we would want to try to get around that. So, man, I need a drink after all this talking. It's been a while, guys. I've missed you. What have you guys been up to, huh? You guys slacking a lot like me? All I know is I've been just trying to keep the weight down. I lost like 22 pounds so far. We're going to try and... Went from 297 to about 276, 275-ish. We're trying to get down to the 250 pounds. Be good. It says the Discord server is full of cool and helpful folks. Yes. And remember, so with the Patreon stuff, you're going to get it, I think as little as $2 a month. We might up it to $5. I don't know. I've kind of been debating. It's kind of more fun for people to just pay $2 and get into the Discord, and you'll talk to me. I'm trying to get there. I try to get in there as much as I can. But a lot of the guys can help you and take care of you and stuff like that. So, but yeah. Let's see, what else we got? Got just a lot of stuff going on, man. It's been some crazy times. So, but yeah, let's I don't know. I'm kind of just really in the mood to bench. I figured during the day for a couple hours. It's kind of, I'm so exhausted at the end of the day that I feel like this kind of time zone is I don't know, great to slack a little bit. So, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I don't know. Let's get pouring some LN2. Alrighty, what do we got? So we got like 35 liters. We got this, I don't know, if you guys have seen my liquid nitrogen, they're called the Doer. I don't know if you guys, if I've really ever explained it. I know Steve has many times, but I'll go over it a little bit as I pour. Basically, we have a Doer. It's kind of like almost like a Yeti cup. It's sealed, so that way you can keep what's inside cold. And liquid nitrogen's really cold, so you want to make sure you have it sealed pretty well. But you don't want to have it sealed too well, because it does need to bleed off, right? If you were to basically put down a... Oh, there we go. If you were to seal it completely, it would actually technically explode because it's pressure building. So that's why if you see on the big tanks, they always have a bleed off valve, and you got to nail them sometimes because they get frozen open. It tends to be kind of a pain. But what's a Discord? Oh, Osman, you are a slacker. Hey, slacker, use your reactor 3. It also fits the. Well, you know what? It was already melted, and I was actually having some issues. This morning, I got really nervous, so I might as well tell you guys this right now because right before, like an hour before the stream, Windows Update basically just did the newest Windows 10 update. Boy, was I shaking about that. So, it says I don't really like the idea. There are different tiers on the server. 5 for full server would be, and a no-brainer. Reactor damn near killed her. I like you guys. You guys are great. So, what's going to be amazing is if we're just going to get started. Guys, just ask questions as you go, and I'm going to answer them. A little rusty on the stream, but that's what this is for, to break out the rust. Just, like, lube it up, get it going. So, I forget how you say this motherboard. I always end up, I don't know, butchering it. It's basically... Get some juice in there, get her cool, so that way she's not so temperamental. Boot her up. What's crazy is if you look at the temperature, so we're at 16 degrees already. Now just a little pour, look at this. It's quite amazing. So see how quick it pulls down? I use so much less liquid nitrogen, and I mean, really, depending on where you get liquid nitrogen from, I pay about like $1 per liter. Some guys pay like $4 a liter. Like it gets quite ridiculous, actually. So, hold on, let me switch some views over here so you guys can see what's going on in the setup. Hi, I missed you. Oh, I missed you guys too. Hold on one sec. Let's see, where did OBS go? Oh, it helped if I was using the right one. Let's see. Alright, let me go over to the other screen. That's the one. So if we can see here, let's try to maneuver it so it's not so much in the way. I don't know, we'll try to go over here. There we go. We're going to have to cut off some voltages. But I'll move it around as we go. Oh, yes. So what do we go? So I see all channels with $2 or $10. Nothing blocked. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, buddy. Borolski. Alright, so before we pull down, like, I want to go over a couple things. I wanted to use Elmore stuff. So if you guys don't know who Elmore is, so Elmore Labs. Elmore is basically the nickname of a guy named John. He's the one who created Elmore Labs. So if you notice my thermometer right here, this is one of his products. Now, I was going to try to set up a screen overlay where you can get all the temps and everything. I just wasn't able to do it because of the Windows update. I was kind of depressed because I wanted to show off his good stuff because he really makes some really good stuff. So make sure you check out Elmore Labs. I'm pretty sure it's at elmorelabs.com. So make sure you check that out if you want a thermometer. He's got some crazy new heaters. I have not got to test it. That's something that I kind of want to do on Twitch, where we're just tinkering around, see how it works, make sure it works. That's the type of stuff I want to do on Twitch. So just to give you an update. But so what is the motherboard? This is the Gigaboard. Gigaboard. Was it Taichin? Man, I don't even know how to say it. Like I always basically butcher it. It's kind of funny, actually. It says that temp reader is beautiful. It is beautiful. So if you have, he's got a nice lit up one. That's the one that I want. I'm gonna order a couple of them. He's got a heater. I really am excited the heater. Right now, I'm using the KP Inferno heater. I would rather use something that is a little bit better, as far as like something that I can connect it to the computer, make sure I'm reading values and check it and making sure it's work. This one's pretty simple. All you do is plug in PCIe. So now the heater's activated, and it basically will keep the system warm, so that way the system doesn't generate a lot of ice and freeze up on you. So let's see. Where is the correct? So is the motherboard. So this is Gigabyte. This is High Cookie's baby. If you don't know who High Cookie is, on Gamers Nexus, he's been on there a bunch of times. He's like one of the lead engineers on Gigabyte's team. He was part of our OC team for Team AU. He's just an overall badass. He makes great motherboards and stuff. So this is pretty much his puppy. So yeah, it's a great board. Especially for something like 32M, it's only 2 DIMMs. The DIMMs are really close to the CPU. It's got a completely different VRM architecture that you're normally used to. The layout's a little bit different. I can't really show you with all the pop mounted, but it's a pretty cool board. So, can you show us your timings? Well, right now it's kind of just chilling here. Let me see. See, if you notice on the left, basically you'll see what I have set. So we're going to boot up a DDR4000, 101 base clock. Right now this is not actually what's working. Let's see. I just wanted to make sure because there's some voltages I have for liquid nitrogen stuff that that require less. So there's a couple buttons on here by the power button. I can't really show it to you, but there's just a couple white buttons. He has one where you can just reset, so it just resets and just keeps on resetting with the same one, so that way you can retry if you're doing memory tuning. The other one is if you want to basically just go into the BIOS and have all the default settings, not your hardcore settings, right? So if you want to make sure you're not doing too much, if you don't want to kill things, or say you had a bad memory setting, timing setting where it's not booting now and you just want to go into the BIOS and set it, but you don't want to have to re-enter all your settings, right? So I do like the new Gigabyte BIOS. Yeah, it's pretty nice. What is this Tai Chi? I saw that, Jesse, before you deleted it. But yeah, let's go over some mem timings right now. Actually, we'll go over CPU timings first. We're doing I'm just doing 8 cores. I've tried with 4 cores. It really depends. So SuperPi 32M is what's called a single-threaded benchmark, right? So really, we only need 1 core. But with 8 cores, that means we have 8 options, right? So we can actually choose core number 1 or 0, core 1, core 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all the way up to 7, right? Because since there's 8 cores, it's an 8-core CPU. We're running basically Gear 1. Gear 1 is pretty much the old method. We're going for really tight, low mem clocks, and we're not going to go for like 5K at 1211, right? We're basically going to go for like 4100, 4200 with like 1211 or 1212. So if you go into advanced memory timings, you'll see one of the cool things about the Gigabyte board is that you actually have some memory presets now. So he had Cookie. This is something that Cookie has actually put into the BIOS, right? So what's nice about it is you can actually set this up. So if you have some good modules and you want to test them out, what you do is you just click on the memory preset and you kind of go for it, right? Now what's cool is you can go into here and see a bunch of the settings. These are just some base settings I was playing around with. Oh, of course I hit the wrong button. Oh, where do we go here? Alright, go back to memory settings. I hate when I do that sometimes. Memory timings. So you see, go somewhat basic. We're going to do like 12, 11, 11, 28. With this chip, this is an ES chip that I got from Intel. This was a reviewer's chip. This is not like a crazy bench chip or anything like that. Start cooling it down. Usually what I do is I bring it down to -50 before I start pushing some like crazy volts. Plus we want to try booting. Let me just take the hard drive out. Usually what I do for when I'm doing memory testing is, say I want to start booting, you want to basically post first. So when you're doing like crazy mem timings, I usually pull out the hard drive, because a lot of times if you try to boot and you have a memory timing that's too tight, you could blow out the operating system. So we don't want to redo the operating system. Let's see. Is it good to see you again? I like your streams. The time passed so fast when I watch you. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. We're going to be doing a lot. Like I was saying before, make sure you sign up for Twitch. Check out some of the streams over there. We're going to do a combination. We're going to be doing videos and streams on YouTube and then streams on the Twitch platform. It seems to go a little bit better for streaming like this, and YouTube is more of a video platform instead of a streaming platform. So it's something that I've wanted to try before, and I think it would be good for the channel. So for stuff when I'm tinkering around, where say we have the heater from Elmore that we can just kind of play around. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just kind of messing and playing around. That's going to be the stuff that's over there. So, Sparky's Adventure. Hey, y'all. That should be a low bin set of dual rank B-die. Don't expect overclocking. Yeah, I actually have a dual rank setup. I just haven't really tested it. From what I've heard on the dual rank setups, is that they're not necessarily the best on this platform compared to the old platform. That's what I heard before. I don't know if things have changed in the overclocking world. Things tend to change pretty quickly, so trying to keep up sometimes, and I've been kind of slacking for a bit. So there's some things that might be a little bit rusty on. So, let's see. TRAS below 28. Who are you talking about? I don't even know what I have. Sorry, it's been a while since I was in here, so I don't really remember even what I have anymore. Usually what I do is I spend days on here. Oh, yeah. T-Res will definitely go under 28. Technically, it can go quite a bit, to be honest. So, this is all base settings, just so I tried tuning some stuff. Sometimes when you... What's really crazy about 32M sometimes is sometimes you'll make some timing changes and you actually go in reverse performance. So, I think that was one of the T-Res... I try to change certain things at a time and try to get like a method down to it. But anyway, let's kind of start. Let's boot up, kind of post. So I pulled the hard drive. So right now it's just booting and posting. So you'll see basically on the post. You guys can't really see the post indicator, but what it's going to do is it's basically going through and trying all those memory settings. And let's see. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I might need some more cold, but. What I've noticed with this particular chip is that it needs quite a bit of cold to boot crazy timings. So, let's see. I guess I didn't fill out the other one. Let's see, are we booting? 3A, 32, 36, 37, 29. What are you guys seeing over there? Nothing yet. Let's see. In terms of Pi, seems 4K 1211 with 4.8 caches matching 4220. Yeah, it is 1212. I've noticed that. I was switching back between 1212 and 1211. Here, something's not right. What I'm gonna do is just go right to the liquid nitrogen one. Oh, that would help. Make sure liquid nitrogen mode's on first before you do that stuff. There's a couple switches he has in here for liquid nitrogen mode, so I gotta make sure you set that before you do anything. Which I didn't do. Let's see what temp we're at. Gotta fix the temp meter. Let's see, minus 32. Do you see how quick and efficient this pot is? It's kind of amazing that it just basically, it takes everything real quick. Alright, so I should have a saved profile. Where's, I want to say, best mem newest. See, this is the problem. I need to start renaming my stuff. Let's see what newest is. No, that one's not the one. I think the last. 38. Really depends. Okay. I thought I had saved base 4.5. Best mem. Most likely this one, I think. You'll see some of the timings. Let me just figure out where I was. That's not the one either. What's nice thing about this BIOS, they let you save like profiles pretty easy. If you hit F3, you can save profiles, and if you hit F4, you can load profiles. So it makes it easy to when you store stuff, but I'm not sure what I did with my old one. Let's try this one. Not the one. What I'm looking for is one that has, I think it's VC sustained. Oh, you know what it was? I'm forgetting. So what happened was basically the last time I live streamed was I ended up changing BIOS. And what happens when you change with the BIOS, we're just going to go, let's see, F4, we'll go back to the one I had before. 165.15. What is it? I think it was VCC sustained, which is what, 1.6. And I think that should be good. Yeah, we'll just go with the last one I just did. But now we have in a liquid nitrogen mode. Have you seen Bullet's pie results on? No, I haven't. I always love watching Bullet because he always takes time. I wish I had more time to be able to do it like he does. But he's probably got some great stuff. Hey, Nightquaker! What's slacking? Looks like insulated coffee cup of sorts. Oh, this one? So this is basically a Yeti cup. So it's sealed. It's pretty awesome for this, actually, because you're only pouring just a little bit at a time, right? So it's not so brutal. All right. This is what happens when you stream. Basically, things start happening that don't usually happen. I had this thing booting up fine before. I'm not sure what. It's always the case, right? But that's what these streams are about, is troubleshooting, trying to figure things out with you guys, so that way if you guys go through this stuff, you have some idea what to do. You know? Alright. Let's try it again. Yeah, if you guys have noticed, we don't really have much music on. I think that was one of the reasons why we were having a little bit of issues with YouTube a little bit. I'm not really sure. They don't really get back to you. It's one of my issues with YouTube is that when you have an issue, like, you can't really reach out to anybody. Nobody really helps you. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. So that's why I figured, you know what, in the meantime, when I'm trying to figure out everything on YouTube, we might as well play around with Twitch a little bit, have some fun. Ah, here we go. So I guess it must have been on the wrong BIOS. Because if you see right here, you see the VCCIO. Oh no, maybe it is. Did I put 1.6 or 1.65? I don't remember now. Alright, we're trying to boot right now. I'm trying to remember what. Maybe one core is having an issue. TechOdin and liquid nitrogen. Now that's cool. Oh, it's because I'm the coolest. No pun intended. Bad joke. Ha ha ha. It's always fun to get memory booting sometimes. So basically the gist of this stream is just to kind of play around. We're getting into show you some basics that you guys can do if you want to get into it yourself too. Let's just try maybe going down to 100. Temperature looks good. Where are we at? Minus 40. Should be fine here. This might be too much. Let's do 55. I have to remember. I don't remember where the settings on there. Let's see. Make sure they're not from Mr. Viking. Sure that you're not from Norway or Sweden. Most likely my heritage is. It's just, we're definitely Viking. We just don't know where exactly from. It's kind of funny. Most of my family came over, I think in the 20s, somewhere around there. But a lot of that stuff is kind of fuzzy as when it comes down to when you go from there. It's kind of crazy. Not being my friend today. Alright. We're going to have to try one of the other profiles, and something's not right with this one. It was working at another time, but that's okay. Usually what I do is try before streams to get him going and kind of figure it out. This one was actually all dialed in. It's just when you get busy, sometimes you kind of forget what you're doing. You jump back into it, and then it kind of... No, still not. All right, let's power it off. Make sure the LN2 is completely powered off before I've set it. All right, we're completely powered off. Let's do it again. Oh, red towels or green ones, Slacker? What is red towels or green ones? What are you talking about? I don't get it. These are blue towels. Does it look green? Nah, because this looks green versus the other one. Or the other one looks green. But, let's see. Nah, we're going to go to the next BIOS. Oh, so what have you guys been up to? What's slacking? Has hardware got any better? I know a bunch of people have been toxic on just on how all this new GPU stuff. I got some surprises when it comes to that too. Let's just say we're gonna bring the 3090 back. So let's just say I have plans, and maybe you'll see something on Friday on Twitch. So like I said before, make sure you follow on Twitch. Check it out. You know. Alright, so let's go through here. We're going to change up a couple of settings because I don't really remember where we left off. Basement newest. I want to say newest was the one that I was going for if I was at like 101. I change too many settings sometimes. When you start getting in, you always want to make sure you save like a base and then you work from that base. So let's try this real quick. 195. These modules, so one of the big things about the older B-Dies, if you get to go through a bunch of modules and play, some are really, really a pain to work with. These modules particularly, like if you don't set like DRAM voltage really well, it starts giving you a bunch of issues. So it could be that we're just running the mem with too high volts. So we're thinking posting, let's see. But this is why memory is so fun. So if I had the operating system in here, you got to be very careful. So this is why I pull the operating system. That way, if a memory timing is not correct, it's not going to give you a bad day. Because what memory can do to an operating system is basically butcher it and make it so it's completely unusable. So you want to make sure that you use like a product like Acronis or Ghost. I'm a big fan of Acronis True Image. If you buy their suite, they have basically a cool USB module that you can make, and then you just use a hard drive and you plug in the USB, plug in the hard drive, and you can take the image of the other hard drive that's connected and store it on like an SSD drive. And that way, if you blow out the hard drive, you can basically fix it. It's pretty awesome. We're just going to go to 100. Not sure what's going on here. Was working fine. This is always the case on streams. So bear with me a little bit. We're having some fun. 195, 17. We're going to go down lower. Shouldn't be too much for these. Let's try that. Water cooling. Is there something as too much radiator space? Is your B-Die sensitive to VTT? Not really. Oh, red towel equals AMD, green towel equals NVIDIA blue for Intel? To be honest, I'm not really a fanboy. I like all hardware. I'm more of a performance fanboy. So whoever's holding the performance crown, that's what I like. So, but apparently we're having some crazy issues here. We're gonna have to try a couple profiles. It seems so kind of weird because I know something was. I'm wondering. Sometimes what happens is when you clearing off a system or you haven't used a system in a while, sometimes you'll maybe have a module. It's kind of funny. I spent like a day and didn't even realize that one of my modules wasn't even in all the way. And like when when it detects, one of the good things, especially when you're doing in memory, you always want to check to make sure that like if you look over, you guys can't see. Oh, actually you can see. So if you see where it says memory size. You'll see that it says 16 gig. So if that says 8 gig, you have a problem. I was messing around one day and I was like, I knew this worked before, and then it just kept on. I just kept on having some weird issues. Now let's see. Trying. Here, I just want to get something. I'm trying to test to see if something will boot because it doesn't seem to like. Anything right now. No, that looks like that boot. Maybe we just need to get like a base train. Sometimes with memory gets finicky, especially these older modules. These ones I know for a fact, but these are been very, very low voltage. So sometimes if you give them too high, So you got to find that happy medium per setting. It's kind of annoying sometimes, but it does work. Okay, so we were able to boot 3866. So that's a plus. Let's try. So that was base what, 4.5 mem? Yeah. So base 4 mem. Let's try. I want to try best. What does this give me? 101. Same timings, probably around 197. Let's try that. I know I was trying some messing with TW. Yeah, see, that works. All right, so we're finding that we're getting there. Let's see. Live streams are 90% troubleshooting. It's okay. Isn't that the truth? The 3080 Ti is interesting for a workstation running a daily high OC. Easier to cool and overclock memory than the 3090. I know the 3090. People don't realize that 3090, when you're running them, that you have memory on the front, but then you have memory on the back. That's why those passive coolers on the back, the active backplates, are amazing. I wish I had one here to basically play. EK, that's your fault. Just saying. I'm just kidding around. I love to mess with the manufacturers. EK is a great company. They have these new active backplates that are actually really needed. It's kind of disappointing that manufacturers don't do, I don't know. They should think about this before. You have memory on the back. It needs to be cooled. So, and that's where a lot of the majority of heat is generated. You would think that they cool it better so that way, like for RMAs and stuff. I don't know. Who knows? The tattoo is cool. How many tattoos? I have too many tattoos. I have them all up here, here. We got a bunch. I'm gonna end up getting a bunch more with the whole pandemic thing going on. I just basically, I don't know. It's kind of weird to get a tattoo. It's not the time, I guess you can say. So we'll be getting a lot more, and especially we need to do like, I don't know, something with like liquid nitrogen. I don't know if you've noticed my what's it called? The thumbnail by Yhali. Yhali's a talented guy. Check out his Instagram. He's going to be doing a couple YouTube stuff, YouTube thumbnails and stuff for me. Just a couple illustrations and images. So if you like what he does and you're really impressed with that, make sure you go to Instagram. Everything's in the description below to make sure, like, or just for everything I do, just check out the description. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. All my social media contacts there, his social media contacts there. Let him know that I sent you over there and tell him how good his work is, because that guy is a very talented dude. So, I can't buy a PC because of the GPU shortage. I know, I was trying to, so, I don't know if you guys are into, like, Formula Drift racing. I have a buddy called Matt Field. I think he's in second place in Formula Drift right now. But we're supposed to be building him a PC, but one of the biggest problems I have is finding him a graphics card that for like a decent price, you know. So yeah, I feel your pain on it when it comes down to it. So don't think that I'm not experiencing the same, you know. Eternal Dreamers, what CPO? This is the 11900K. We're just getting into trying to figure out what was going on. Since we're booting, I'm just gonna plug in the hard drive and see, and then kind of go over like what we're doing for OS. Some of the guys, like the really experienced guys, are going to be like, oh, you're running Windows 10. Whatever. I feel the reason why I'm doing Windows 10 and to show you guys, because it's much simpler to run than going with like Windows XP. Windows XP can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're new to the game, if you haven't been running it. It takes a lot of work to get it going, and then you have a bunch of steps that you have to do. You have to have a really stripped down OS. What's crazy about this new gen is that you can actually do this on Windows 10, which is pretty amazing. I don't know, like I'm not a huge fan of Windows 10. It's just, it's much simpler to get working, and you can basically set up something for your home machine pretty easily, and you can play around, because 32M is basically a single core performance, so as long as you have one core CPU, you can turn off all the cores and jack up the one core, even if you're on crappy cooling, and you can join in and play. So that's kind of the whole point of this. What I want to show is that you guys can bench this too, see how much performance you can get out of your machine. So one of the things that I kind of want to go over though, so this is also about memory tips. So if you want to get started and kind of play around, one of the things that guys do with memory in general, so Here, we'll go over some screenshots of me playing around. Let's see. I think I have a bunch of 5 gig stuff in here. Here's some 5-minute stuff. Let's see. Can you guys see that pretty well? Here, let me go over. We got a bunch of 5 gig stuff. So here's like 5 minutes and 6 seconds. I think at the time, 5 minutes, 3 seconds was the record or something like that. I think this is my best that I got to play with. I was running at about 5 minutes and... actually, no, I think I got into the 4-second range, but... I don't remember. It's been a while since I played with the platform, so... But we have a lot of... You can tell that there was a lot of time put in this just by the number of screenshots I have, so... But I'll keep that up for a second, and... While I get some more juice. So let me fill up. Hey, Tech Viking, how you doing, bro? I'm doing great. I lost a bunch of weight. Got the energy. Got to keep up with my little dude. I don't know. Feeling really, really good. And I feel even better because I'm streaming with you guys. So let's get some into the liquid nitrogen stuff because we do have a little bit of a deadline for this. I got to get back to regular work, you know. I decided to take some time out of my normal work week schedule to do this. I feel like an earlier time is kind of nice. We get to hit all continents, you know. Alright. We need some liquid nitrogen because we got to keep everything cool. It's getting a little hot in here. What temp are we at? About minus 26. Let's get this a little bit colder. So the liquid nitrogen helps the IMC to be able to... I had some issues with this. When you're starting to push in voltages for the IMC, it gets the chip pretty hot, and you run into a limitation of how much you can really clock memory. So by giving liquid nitrogen and making it colder, it actually gives you a little bit more room to play on memory. So say you're testing all day on water and you get into a limit on memory, if you start going colder, you'll actually be able to go a lot harder on memory. So you can either gain lower the CL, you can raise the frequency. You'd be surprised on what you can actually do. So Sam Vegas, for regular work. I know, but I can't tell them that, you know. I gotta make sure I'm a responsible adult, you know. I wish I could do this all day. That is the dream. One day, we'll get there. I have $3,000 and I just don't want to waste it and just go waiting until prices go down. Yeah, I had another buddy that was, we were just talking about it today from work, and he was like, yeah, I went to go buy a GPU, and he's like, I just didn't realize how bad the prices were. And I was like, yeah, you have no idea. It's been like that for a while now. Just seems like it's getting worse, too. All right, getting colder. All right, so let's kind of go over some stuff. So say you want to get into this and you want to do some liquid nitrogen stuff, right? One of the first things we do, let's see, make sure I'm not blocking. You'll notice right here, we have actually, it's probably, here we go. So if you look, we actually have 16 gig of memory, right? I'm using 2 B-die sticks. Each one is 8 gig, right? These are not dual rank. These are, basically dual ranks means there's basically 32 gig kits. Basically you have ICs on both sides, not just one side. These ones are older, so basically they have ICs just on one side, and they're 8 gig per side, basically. So dual ranks, you'll have there's 16 gigs on the actual PCB versus 8 gig. These are 8 gig, right? We will be testing 16 gigs. I just haven't had the time to do it, obviously. But I do have a nice kit that we could probably test in another stream. That's probably something we'll build upon, because I'll have multiple setups as we stream. Because to be honest, I get bored with just one setup, so I like to play with one setup, then play with another setup. So I don't know. You guys will see when we start streaming as we get going. But you'll notice here that the amount of memory that we're using is we're not using 16 gigabytes of memory, right? We're basically only using 1.2 gigabytes. And the reason why we do that is we lower the amount of memory that's seen to the operating system. Because really, to run 32M, you don't need a lot of memory. the amount. What we need is to push the frequencies, and we can push the frequencies a lot harder by limiting the amount of RAM that we're actually showing to the actual operating system. I know most of you are going to be like, oh, isn't that cheating? I mean, for a daily system, you don't want to do that. But for a all performance system like this, you do want to do it. And also when you set, like, you'll notice that I'm booting up pretty easily at 4K 1211. That's because of this. If you don't do this and you try to boot up at 1211, you could also basically kill the operating system. So you want to be very careful here. Now, how did I do that? There's a couple different ways to do it, right? I'll show you one way. This is through msconfig. On msconfig, you basically have, what is it, in boot? You'll see right here, advanced options, and you can actually choose maximum memory. Now, in a lot of the older operating systems, we used to do this, and it really depends on the bench. Some benches will like it here, some benches won't. Be careful here. Windows 10, depending on which version you have, sometimes reacts a little bit differently. So just kind of keep an eye out. I really don't recommend using this method. Just like if you're trying to find something more with a bench and you're like pretty much at a wall, kind of play with something like this. Now, the way that I do it to limit the amount of mem is there's a program called BCD Edit. Oops. It will help if I can type right. What am I missing here? I don't know if I did admin. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, okay. So there's a program called BCD Edit. And you'll see right here, so when you actually type in BCD Edit, you'll see that there's a couple parameters. So you'll see right here, like you have device partition equals C. If you start going down a little bit lower, you have a thing what's called remove memory. So basically what you do in here is you add a key. You can also, it's easy to, oh, sorry. There's a couple parameters that you can use. Basically what you do, what I did here is I added this parameter called remove memory. And what I did is I subtracted the amount of memory that I have. So if you have 16 gig, I basically said, okay, remove 15.1 gig and just show the rest, right? There's always the way that it works, you notice it's a little bit different because the way memory works, the bits it goes up, so you go like 2, was it 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. It's not just always straightforward or you want to put amount of memory. What I found is that remove memory, this is a good amount to have. You can play around with this. You can remove more memory. Just be careful. You don't want to remove more memory than you need. So like if I were to put in here, set this to remove memory 17 gig and I only have 16 gig, you're not going to boot your operating system up. So it's going to basically not kill your operating system. There's ways to go back in and repair it. It's not that easy. I don't know. That's something we could probably show on Twitch because I've had to do that before. Especially on like a competition OS where you're already dialed in and you didn't save that back up like you were supposed to with the Acronis. But yeah, so there is ways to go back in it, but this is usually what I do. So if you know BCD Edit, what you can do is basically what I do. I think it's something like this where you do add and then remove memory. And then you go through and basically specify how much you want. And you just hit enter, and then you just, to check to make sure what you entered, I always do BCD Edit, right? And basically show. So you'll see right here, remove memory is 15100. You can delete that key. Like if you want to go back to your like daily settings and you don't want to do that anymore, what you do is you delete that key. So it's pretty easy on Google. If you just do BCD Edit and put in remove memory, it's pretty self-explanatory there. Oh, 2250. I'm happy I got it. Yeah, dude, it's too crazy with these. The GPU stuff is pretty much out of hand anymore. I saw the 3080 Ti stuff. I'm not sponsored by Nvidia, so I don't really get pretty much anything. So you won't see any 3080 Ti here, basically. All right, so that's rule number 1. So if you're going to get into memory overclocking like this, you need to first reduce the amount of memory that's shown to the operating system itself. And you can do, like I said before, you can do that through msconfig, or you can do that here through bcd edit and remove memory. Now, I found certain benchmarks like, say, R20, R15, like Cinebench, they tend to react better with removed memory. So, just a pro tip, kind of go off based upon that. Wow, can't even fulfill customer. Tullius, my buddy, what's going on? A lot of them will not spend that kind of money. It's hard. It's building computers right now. I really feel a lot of people's pain on it, because even if, like, for builders, when you go back and tell a customer that they have to spend $2,500 on a GPU, it kind of ruins business. So hopefully that gets better, broski. I'm pushing for you, man. All right. So Henny, what's up, Slacker? What's up with you? Okay, so the next steps. We got all our memory set. We got BCD edit set. You can see right here in memory that basically we have only 1.2 gig. Now, the next part is, okay, how do we run the program, right? So we have Benchmate. So if you go to benchmate.org, what are we running out of time here? Benchmate.org is pretty cool, because when you download their suite, and this is pretty much, I think, the full suite that he has, you'll notice that all the benchmarks are there. So you got R15, R15 Extreme, R20, R23. You have a bunch of programs that you need to I'm trying to look for the word. Basically, to authenticate, to... Oh, I can't even think. So what we do is we want to make sure that... I can't even think of the name right now. I'll think of it in a second, and I'll talk about it in a second. So, but just know that we have all the applications that you need to certify that you're working correctly. So CPU-Z is one of them. So if you want to do like the 5 gigahertz contest, right? We can, by doing that, you need to say, okay, I want to make sure that you're doing the 5 gigahertz. So Benchmate is basically the program that will do that. Highly recommend it. I've been I don't know, I've been supporting this for a long period of time. It's what overclocking has needed for a long period of time, so I highly recommend it. It's pretty easy. You just download it, install on the system, and you pretty much have all the CPU benchmarks you need. So, highly recommend it. This is the next part. So, you'll see in here, so you have CPU-Z. CPU-Z is what we use to kind of see all the settings and stuff. So you'll see, like, we're dual channel. We have 16 gig. This is DDR4. We have the MEM controller frequency. We're a little bit lower here compared to 2040, I think, was on the other one. The screenshot that I shared. But then you have the, what's it called? The cache frequency. You have the MEM frequency. Notice it's a 1-to-1, so that's a Gear 1 ratio. Originally, we thought Gear 1 was actually going to be slower and Gear 2 was faster, and that actually, a lot of people were wrong with that. So it's actually the opposite. Gear 1 is much faster. It's kind of crazy, actually. But yeah, you can see the timings, the base timings that we're running, 12, 11, 11, 28, 201T. You'll see the motherboard, the Oris Taishin. I don't even know how to say it. I butcher stuff. Yes, it's an anti-cheat validator. Tullius, you are the man. I can't overclock a laptop. Beer-hearted, did you try liquid nitrogen? Dude, there is actually some cool ways to use liquid nitrogen on a laptop. You'd be surprised. A lot of the times we have what HWBot has Country Cup, and they usually choose some crazy hardware, and a lot of the times laptops can be used, and sure enough, you can use liquid nitrogen. Alright, let's see how much time we got. I want to make sure I get going a little bit. Yeah, so we got 1 hour. So we got 1 hour left. I want to try to get some going on here, get some runs. So let's move a little bit forward, right? So one of the programs that I want to use is SuperPi32M. SuperPi32M is basically a single core, single threaded optimized program. This program has been out since, I want to say, since I think late 90s. It's one of the first benchmarks. It's one of the highly coveted memory benchmarks. It's pretty awesome. Should put you in 7th place for benchmark stage. Yeah, so what Sparky's talking about is basically I ran the 5 gigahertz challenge on HWBot, And my score, I think I have a faster one. I'm pretty sure I'm in the 4-second range, but I remember it being like 4th or 5th place at the time when I did it. So things change, obviously, in benchmarking. People are always improving, finding new things, and spending a lot of time doing this. So, he has like a minute. So anyway, so let's get kind of to it. So what does SuperPi do? SuperPi calculates pi. So you guys have ever heard pi, and we're not talking about Thanksgiving. We're not talking about your mom's lemon meringue pie or peach cobbler or anything like that. We're talking about SuperPi. We're talking about mathematics. We are talking about how you calculate it. So if you know what pi is basically a mathematical, I guess you could say like an infinite number. So what we want to do is, what this benchmark does is calculates pi to the 32 millionth integer. So that's why you say SuperPi 32m, right? So we can do 16m, we can do 8m, 4m. 32m is pretty much the number that we've used for the maximum number we've used for years. So a lot of the times you'll see benchmarks. Sometimes competitions will be on 8m. 1M is actually one of the benchmarks that you can do for like world records. So it's pretty much 1M and 32M are the world record benchmarks, right? The meaning of the universe. Alt, you're killing me, broski. So, but yeah, let's kind of see. I think we're a little bit low right now as far as clocks. So you'll see right. Ooh, that's actually the wrong one. Hold on. What's nice about this motherboard is that they give you tools that you can play in the operating system. And one of my favorite things to do is actually play in the operating system and not play in the BIOS all the time. So you'll see right here, like, we're running at 445. Oh, actually, before I do that, we need to bump up vCore a little bit. We'll just do some runs right now at 5 gigahertz, try to get everything going, kind of see where everything's at, because it seemed like I was having a couple issues. So what we'll do is we'll jump it up to 49. We'll do 49 on cache. And what we'll do is, so what this means is that all of the CPUs are going to go up. Now, Gigabyte actually has some cool utilities where you can actually do only specific CPUs, right? So specific cores, not all the cores. So if you look at CPU Z, for instance, and you right-click it, you can see, oh, so remember we changed BIOSes, so you can only see 4 cores right now. I forgot we changed that, and then I was playing around with 4 cores. For some reason, 8 cores doesn't work well for me. It must mean that I have like one really bad core. That's why it doesn't boot. So, but yeah, you'll see how they're all at 494. We can actually go and do like only 1 core. It helps for like water cooling and stuff. You'll see if I open up this shortcut. This is another GTL program that that Cookie gives out. You'll see that I can actually just do a particular CPU. So what I'll do right here is I can actually bring this to like 48. Right? Now this is good for like if you're on water, right? So you'll see right here, what happened here? Oh, I have them both open. Hold on. You got to be careful with some of these, because if you don't do them right, they start causing all sorts of issues. So let's make sure we do that. And it looks like it must be some type of bug. Let's open it up again. This is the fun stuff that we do when we overclock. We're always trying to figure out different ways to do things, right? So it looks like something happened here. Let me make sure you can see 48, 48, 48. Let's close this. I've never tried them like when they're open at the same time. It looks like it doesn't work, so you either have one open or the other open. Don't have them both opened at the same time. Yeah, see, like it errored out here. So we're gonna clear all checked, put in here. Let's do 49 and see what it does. Yeah, now you can see that. Well, that's weird. Now all of them are going to 49. So let's see if we can just do the one. Which is weird. This was working. I don't know what happened here. It's kind of strange, actually. So if we look at CPU Z again. Man, this is really nice and fun to do in the day. Okay, see, here we go. So I guess you can't have both tools open. So you can see right here that basically 50-50 And you can do it this way. But since we're on liquid nitrogen, I'm not really caring about like how hot we're getting. That's more for like water and air. When you're doing top clocks, this is something, what you want to do is you want to go through each core and find what your best core is. You'd be surprised on how different the cores can be. It's kind of surprising sometimes. But what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this back down to 49. Because what you do with 32M is you want to basically pick whatever your best core is, right? So the best core so far I've found is that this the second one, 01. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep it up there. I just want to adjust the B clock a little bit more. Probably to around 10. Maybe we'll just do a run right now. Make sure everything's working before we go into doing the other stuff. So you'll see at 101, we're about 49.5. If you look in here, so what we're going to do is, one of the cool things about Benchmade, a lot of the guys usually use Windows XP. And that means you got to set up pretty much everything for yourself, right? So you got to set up all your, like, what we usually what we do is we'll open up the program, and then you go into like Task Manager, and then you got to find the program, and then you want to go to details, and then you go in here, and then you're gonna want to go to set priority to real time. You want to set affinity. Notice this is actually all set for me. And what's cool about Benchmade is that you can go in here and see right here and go to options. So you can set priority. So every time you open up the program, it's just going to do real time automatically, and then it will set affinity automatically. So that way, if you notice right here, I'm saying, okay, set affinity to core number 1, which is actually technically core number 2, but they always start off from 0 instead of 1. So you see so we're at core number 2, and it basically, as soon as I kick it off, it does that. It goes right to it. So that's one of the nice things about using Benchmade, right? Now, what this is going to do when I run this, so we're going to go calculate it. You can run whatever you want. We're going to run 32M, right? Make sure we give it some juice. Make sure we're not getting too hot. And you'll notice that we're going to come up with a score. So basically, this is going to keep going for at least, what, like 5 minutes? And the trick is to get the lowest score. So I just want to make sure this is running. We're not going for anything that's like a decent score at the moment. We just want to make sure that it runs, because I haven't booted this machine up in probably a good month. But what you can look on here is, what we get down to is you'll start noticing, like, you might have some failures. So this is like an example of a failure when I was trying. Like, the memory I had was pushing the memory too much. I didn't have the right timings. It seemed pretty fast. But you'll notice, like, that I had let's see. Okay, you can only see so much. Let me move this over a little bit. But you can see that I keep on trying to change settings. I always keep track with screenshots, and I just kind of play around. And I keep on going. So you'll see here's 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 9:53. Just doing testing, and I'll do this for hours and hours and hours. You'll see, like, just kind of playing around. Like, this is one that I was actually going up. We were at about 61 gigahertz or 6.1. Just playing around, testing stuff. So I'm just trying to get used to this actual system to see. If you notice, this is my best score. So, oh, what happened here? Hello. Oh, okay. So for some reason, this graphic card kind of goes in and out sometimes, like every once in a while. But yeah. Great. Now I want some chocolate mousse pie or some tiramisu. Dude, you guys are killing me sometimes. It's nice. It's been so long. I missed you slackers so much. But it's good to be back. We're going to be going like a freight train now. I've been so excited to stream that, like, I don't know. I'm like jonesing for it. Like, I miss OC. I miss playing around. So now that I finally, my work is basically cutting down. We had someone at my work that got let go. So I ended up having to take up the slack for them. So finally now I have some more room. I've caught up on a lot of things at work, and now I can have some more slack time. So I'm going to spend it with you guys. So just make sure, if you guys are just jumping on, what was the name of the tool for the screenshots you make? I just use this program called Snapshot. If you look there, it's got the... I'm not even, to be honest, I've been using that program for over a decade. I don't really remember where I got it from, so I'm not sure if I can really share it. I don't know. It's kind of like that fine line. I'm a developer myself. I don't like sharing tools for free, especially if someone works hard on it, and I feel like it's taking money from somebody else. So I don't know. I want to try to find it, or maybe I'll make my own. It's not that difficult to do, actually. It's just that out of convenience, I've used that program for like years, so it's just nice to use. So, all right, June 23rd, info disclosure from the last administration. No idea what that means. Have to go to dinner. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Ike. Great now. Hey, Slackmaster. Hey, Tux. What's going on, broski? We have another streamer that he's up in the Discord all the time. He's on Twitch. Make sure you check him out. In the airport, waiting for a flight. What's going on? We got Bagman here. We got a bunch of guys that are on the Discord, too. Like I said before, if you want to join Patreon for as low as $2 a month, it might be going up to $5. I don't know. We've kind of debated on whether doing it or not. It might be something we do. I don't know. But for that little price, you can basically join the Discord, and we got a bunch of cool folks like that's in pretty much in the chat right now. So I don't know. Come and join, hang out, have some fun. I always like it. You guys, these guys are the ones that really like push me to make sure I do streams and stuff like that. So this is really for them. This stream is really pretty much for them because they're always pushing me in behind the scenes, giving me encouragement, because this stuff can be hard. If you're not used to basically being in front of the screen all the time, you kind of go through your spurts, whether you like it or not, or you feel uncomfortable versus comfortable. I've had this issue lately where like shooting video of myself is very difficult, but doing something like streams is like just way more natural for me. So I figured we'd jump on to more streams, and then as I get more comfortable, I'll just start pumping out videos. So, and again, make sure you follow on Twitch because we're going to be going pretty hardcore on Twitch too. So, but yeah, join the Slacker Army. Hang out with me. You know you want to. All right, so we're down to about 22 loops here. I don't know. We might do some, since we only have probably like 45 minutes left. Let's see. The countdown's going. Yes, we have 45 minutes. Yeah, because I have to hit up, I have to do like change management stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so I got to do that for work. So I got to make sure I get back to work and then work for the rest of the day. Now I got to work later because I had to spend so much time with you guys, which I don't really mind, to be honest. Usually at the end of the day, I get pretty tired. So that's why one of these things, I've been trying to find this balance, this work balance with stream balance, right? And I figure if we do some stuff during the day, I can just work a little bit later, and to be honest, enjoy it more. I'm not so tired during streams, stuff like that. All right, so this is actually not that bad. I thought this would be worse, actually. Oh, I keep on hitting the wrong one. I meant to hit this one, and I always hit that one for some reason. What can I say? It's right there. I just want to hit it. So it's actually pretty good for pretty much 49.50 and not almost 5 gig. The trick is that we can only go to around, I think it's around 5003 frequency. We're not there yet. We're going to try, we'll go right to 102. 102 should work. I might have to bump up DDR. If you notice that we're at 1.98 on the DDR, this is where this type of memory gets a little finicky, where like if I were to go too little or too high for lower clocks, it will complain. It's kind of weird. So we're just going to run it again. I meant to take a screenshot, but didn't do that. Oh. But yeah, this is a fun benchmark. If you want to get into doing benchmarking in general, this is one. If you want to get into memory tuning, the one thing that I do recommend is this is going to take a lot of your time. So if you want to invest your time into it and enjoy something, I find it very therapeutic. Like, I don't know, if you're having a bad time or, I don't know, just having a crappy time in general, and you just want to get your mind off things and kind of do it. It can be frustrating, so if you're that type of person who gets anxiety, maybe stay away from it. I don't know. For me, it becomes very relaxing because I'm always just worried about the system and I'm not worried about anything else. So it's kind of one of those things that, I don't know. Over the years, I've kind of stayed away from this benchmark just because of time. Like I said, you got to invest a lot of time into 32M. Usually, guys will do like XP, and we have this thing called Waza. It's how you control how memory is handled in the operating system in Windows XP. It makes quite a difference on scores, so you have to try all different values. It's good to try like BCD edit, remove memory. It's good to try like I'm doing 15,100, so I'm removing that amount of memory that's seen to the operating system. You might want to change that around a little bit. It might actually be more beneficial for your particular modules to have a little bit more memory or have a little bit of less. So there's so many different little variables that you can try and play with to get yourself going. So, can't be the only bearded slacker that's currently streaming. Get back on it. Oh yeah. Alright, seriously, the Discord channel through Patreon is one of the best things I've done in a while. I'd gladly pay for $5 for it. Magman, he has been super thrilled. He's actually relatively new for the past couple months, and man, he's been a big help too over in there. So basically what the Discord is it's kind of almost like a forum chat where we all kind of, if you have a question, just shoot it out. We all kind of encourage everybody. We're not toxic in there. We go against any toxicity anyway. So like if you're toxic, stay away. It's more for like a friendly environment to hang out, learn about OC, learn about PC stuff in general. And then also I do a lot of different tech. I do like electric skateboards. I don't know. Why just do one thing when you could do all these great things? So, but yeah. So we're running. We're getting faster and faster. You don't have any more questions about 32M? I mean, come on. It's such a fun benchmark. What's nice about it is it actually, you'll learn a lot about memory. And the more, as you go, you'll start noticing, like, different trends with your modules. Like certain settings work better for certain types of memory. Like, for instance, this is Samsung B-Die memory, right? So say if you did some, like, Thermaltake memory, for instance. Those are Hynix memory. So they do different timings. So as you go through this, you can learn different types of memory modules. There's even Micron's one that you can learn. There's a lot of different things you can learn. Like I'm trying to think. There's even different, like, say you have E-Die, you have B-Die. Those are just for Samsung. You have D-Die. You have different versions of B-Die, like A0, A1s, A2s. There's so many different memory modules. That's why, like, if you want to learn it, this is something you can learn it on. It's a lot of fun. This is just one of the memory benchmarks, though. There's another one called Geekbench 3, which is pretty crazy memory benchmark to do too. I still can't get over this liquid nitrogen pot. Definitely one of my favorite pots. I want to try it on something more powerful, like I don't know. I feel like the Threadripper. I'm just so excited to bench Threadripper. I've wanted to bench this new pot. This one's going for Threadripper. This will be on Threadripper. Not sure if it's gonna be this week or next week. I don't know. Could be Friday on Twitch. Make sure you follow on Twitch because you're gonna miss it if you don't. If you follow me on Twitter, so I've gotten some questions like, where have I been? If you really want to, like, follow me and know what I'm doing pretty much most of the time, Twitter is really where you can follow me the most. So, just so you know. I'm just trying to soak it in, planning on trying my first CPU runs next week. Yeah, I think Antitox has been more of doing, like, GPU benchmarking versus CPU benchmark, and they are vastly different. And it depends on, like, what benchmark you do. Like, some are lighter, so that way you get more high frequency. Some are more powerful, so you're going to get a lower top frequency. It gets kind of crazy. Oh, look at that. So we're at 5 minutes, 6 seconds, and 4:42, which is pretty good for not booting up for a month. So let's try to push it. I think the most you can do I clicked it again. BS, hey dude, missed you. I missed you slackers. I really did, man. It's kind of weird to say, but, like, I don't know. Just streaming right now, I really enjoy streaming with you guys. I want to say I've missed it, but I don't even think that does it justice of how much I've missed it. Because, to be honest, I absolutely really love streaming for you guys. So, and we're definitely going to do some more. So, but let's get back to this real quick. So we're going to bump it up to 102.1. I want to say that that's almost the limit. So one way you can tell is in CPU-Z. The 5 gigahertz clock challenge. And the reason why I run this 5 gigahertz clock challenge is because you want to build your efficiency before you start doing top clocks. So before I go to try to max out at 7 gigahertz, I want to make sure that my score is really good at a lower clock, so that way I can score higher when I really push the clocks. So this is why you want to do something like a 5 gigahertz challenge. Now the 5 gigahertz challenge isn't just for the new CPUs either. This 5 gigahertz challenge has been around for years, at least for the past, I would say, close to around a decade. So all the older platforms were all on the 5 gigahertz challenge. Some of the older platforms, because they couldn't reach 5 gigahertz, needed liquid nitrogen for 5 gig. But it doesn't mean if you don't have the latest, basically what I'm getting at is if you don't have the latest and greatest, you could still do this too. And then and it's a great way to see how much performance or single core performance you can get and how much it's changed. I don't know, it's kind of fun to see. I really think with this new platform that Intel came out with for 32M and single core performance, it really is nice to see on Windows 10 especially, for it to run so quick. So, Windows key and print screen is screenshot in your pictures folder. Yeah, you can do that Windows key too. There's a bunch of different ones. Print screen used to be one of them. I like it just because I tap on it and it builds a screenshot on the top. So, oh, that's ironic because I like watching your streams. Yeah, man, I love watching you. I had a lull and I'm OCing myself. Yeah, sometimes you just need a break. Even with YouTube, I've found you guys may think I'm just slacking all the time, and really what it is that I do a lot of things. I work really, really hard. I always make sure my family's taken care of. So sometimes there's going to be times where I'm not going to be able to stream as much, which is disappointing, but I don't know. As we get bigger and grow the channel, and to be honest, that's not really my whole priority with it. It's just really just having fun. That's what really this channel is all about. So hopefully we can expand that by going to Twitch and doing other things over there, and then even doing more videos on YouTube. I feel as if as I get more comfortable with streaming, that I'll be able to do videos much easier. Because, I don't know, when I signed up for this, one of those things is very hard to shoot yourself. It drives you nuts. Things to start out and wrap my head around. Let me know when the King Slacker wraps up and I'll plan on starting after him. Oh, awesome. But yeah, so, I don't know. So you'll see right here, what I was getting into it before is at 102.1. If you notice that the clock fluctuates a little bit, but that's pretty much the maximum. You don't want to go over 5003. That's the limit. You're not allowed to go because it will affect your times if you go up just even a little bit of B clock over it. So what we're going to do is going to try to run again and see what happens. See if we can build the score even more, right? So we're just going to store that, hit close, and I'm going to run it again. Now, I'm not doing all the efficient tweaks. There's other tweaks that you can do, like we can close down, we can shut down Windows Explorer. So that way the only thing that's shown is SuperPi. There's another option you can do that's inside Benchmate where as soon as you run the benchmark, it drops down and minimized so you don't see anything on the screen. And that can gain you a little bit of points too. So I'll show you after this one. Because we're kind of running out of time. I think we still got a good 35 minutes still, so that's good. I think we can still do a lot in there. It takes like 5 minutes for this to run, so. Oh, need some more juice. But yes, well, great to see you back again, dude, and you're right. There's much more to life than streaming and OCing. I don't know. I like Extreme OC, and I like streaming. To be honest, I love it. It's one of the things how I got really started in this. I just was like, you know what, I'm going to turn the camera on and start streaming. And sure enough, I kind of really fell in love with it. To be honest, it's really fun. I don't know. I guess I guess I like to talk. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy it. It's very almost therapeutic for me. I don't know. I haven't realized how much I missed it. And to be honest, we're going to be doing a lot more of these, and I'm absolutely stoked about it. I know I've said it before, like, oh yeah, we're going to start doing, but this time is pretty much for real. I'm cut down to a certain amount of hours I can use at work, which is good because that means I got more slack time, which is pretty much good. You don't want to work too much in life. You always got to make sure you take some slack time because if you don't, you end up getting burnt out. Not to say that I'm an old man, but I've been doing this for a long time. Not just OC, but computers in general. I've been over 20 years now. And it can be exhausting at times, working weekends and just basically in the IT world, it can be very stressful. What they don't tell you about in IT is how many hours that you really have to put in to really make it as a good IT professional. And it can be very hard on your family. It can be hard on your social life. It could be hard just in general because it's very complex work. So it's kind of crazy. Why does this i9 11900K have just 4 cores and 4 thread? Because I set it in the BIOS. Now, the reason why we did that, so at first, the one BIOS setting that I had, you can turn them off in the BIOS. This is a single threaded application. What that means is it only really needs 1 core, right? So we turn off cores, it actually reduces temp. It also turns off those lanes to the memory controller. So what it does is that it gives you a better balance to the memory controller and keeps the temps down, so technically you can get a little bit more OC out of it. So for instance, if you're on a water-cooled system and you want to try 32M, what you can do is you can actually turn off, say you have an 8-core system, like you have 11900K, and you're maxed out on memory, right? What you can do is you can, instead of having the 8 cores, put on 4 cores, and what that will do is it will turn off the other cores. And what it does is that reduces your temperature. And technically, a lot of times when you do that, what it will do is it will actually gain you clocks. The memory controller will allow you to clock a little bit higher. It will also allow you to put to tune your memory a little bit more. So it's something you definitely want to do. It's good to get started when you're getting started into memory tuning. Because, like I said, you're going to put a lot of time into this. And I'm just giving you the basics here to start off. I figure this is a good kind of, how do you get into doing memory overclocking? This is just to kind of give you a basis, somewhere to start. As we go in through different streams, I'll start giving you more settings, go into more finer detail of what's going on. But this is more to get you started first, and then to build upon. So this is kind of for the newbie guys. It says, I want to use my 2 best cores. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. With these, since you have 8-core chips nowadays, you can actually, say I can boot up at 8 cores. What I can do is find the best core out of those 8 cores, and you'd be surprised what happens. I know on this chip, there's 1 or 2 cores that are really bad, so that's probably one of the reasons why I wasn't booting up. For some reason, when I do 8 cores versus 4 cores, 8 cores just doesn't want to boot up as much. I don't know if that has something to do with the IMC. More testing, though, would find out. But it seems to be something IMC related. So, all right. So we're almost on that last loop to see how we're going. We might have to turn some settings down on memory. Let's see what we got. So I think what was our best, around 5 minutes, 6 seconds. Let's see if we can break in. Oh, it's worse. Worse. All right. See, this is what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get into this where you start running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out. I'm going to actually technically reboot. What I've noticed sometimes with 32M, there's nothing like a fresh reboot that basically gets everything going. I just want to make sure I know where I'm at. So 4949, 10210. So what I'm going to do is just going to boot up. Power, restart. Alright, Tullius, I want to use my 2 best cores. Oh man, I'm a newbie guy. I wish I could stay. This is made for me, and I definitely will rewatch this. But yeah, and also, like Antitux says, come to Discord, man. If you really want to get into something like this and you want to learn, the Discord, when I'm not there, I can't be there all the time, but there's a bunch of good guys that will help you out, and you all learn together. I mean, it's really a fun atmosphere. I highly recommend it. I've really been quite surprised how much I've enjoyed the Discord environment, and to be honest, for streams and stuff, or just for motivation in general, it makes me want to do more because of it. So it means a lot to me that if you go over there, and I try to do as best as I can over there, but I really enjoy it. So make sure you join over there and have some fun, and come hang out with all the slackers over there. Check out the slacker army. So, all right. So let's play around. Sparky's Adventure was saying some stuff before. Let's see. We're gonna change some settings because we're running out of time. But you can start off with your base, right? So like I said before, like this is High Cookie. High Cookie works for Gigabyte. He's basically he's changed so many titles. He used to be in marketing. He's lead engine. I think he's like a lead engineer now or something like that. But he puts presets in here so you can get started. And what that does is it helps you to get started. So that way you can start changing stuff and changing around. Of course. So what's nice here, I completely forgot. We were trying to play with BIOSes before, and then I kind of blew out. So we were using his profile first. So what we're going to do is I'm going to still use his profile, but I'm going to change some settings on it. So I'm going to change this to about, let's just try just a little bit at a time. We'll try 26 instead of 28, and let's see what it gets us. So I'm going to pull the hard drive, because usually when I make settings like this, remember, I don't want to blow up the operating system. And sometimes I'll forget to do this, and I'll totally do that. So you just always got to be careful and kind of keep mindful of what you're doing. So what do you guys think about this liquid nitrogen pod? I am like really stoked about these pods, and the reason why is they use way less liquid nitrogen. If you're looking to get in and doing some of this, dude, there's guys in Europe that pay like $4 a liter, like $5 a liter, even more. Like Indonesia, I think they pay like some sick amount for liquid nitrogen. So these pots are so efficient, like to the point where like you can see when I pour, we're at 45, minus 45. I just poured a little bit in there, and it's already down to minus 50. So you went minus 5 degrees with a single pour. That's why I only need this. I don't need this anymore, which is quite wild, and it's quite nice, because what you'll see is when you actually put a load on there, it actually doesn't like it doesn't overreact with the pot. It pulls down nicely on load, and you can control it pretty easily by just pouring just a little bit at a time. Big fan, highly recommend it. Tell that, if you look in the description below, you can see the link that I put for the liquid nitrogen pots. Highly recommend. There is some weird issues with it, like you're gonna have to have your own hardware, but to be honest, nobody's making pots like this, and they are highly they're just way better than anything's out, and it's not even like it's a close. It's like it's a huge difference, and in the long run, the pot might be expensive now, but overall, with the cost of liquid nitrogen and how much you're gonna have to pay for liquid nitrogen, it kind of pays for itself overall. Like with my old pots, I've went through so much liquid nitrogen, and it's kind of funny. If I had these pots then, I would have not had such a liquid nitrogen bill, and it's quite amazing. It's almost rejuvenated my love for OC, just changing the way we're doing things and kind of moving to the next level, which is really enjoyable to me, because I feel like in the OC world, things have been kind of stagnant for a while. There hasn't been like any real crazy new technology to use, you know what I mean? So, that's a wild pot, dude. Please give us a close-up later. I'll have to, what I'll do is I'll put some pictures up on Twitter. I'll put pictures up on the YouTube community. Sometimes the YouTube community thing, the way you post on there, it's not very usable. I run into issues on like, I just run into too many issues with it. So like I said before, Instagram, follow me on Instagram, Patreon, Discord. I put a lot of stuff in the Discord. Also Twitter, and what I'm going to start using Instagram more, so I'll probably put the pictures up there too. So I'll just put them everywhere, and that way you can go and check it. So what is 50 more megahertz that gets you a world record? Totally worth it. And I highly agree. That's the crazy part about it, is that this pot, if you use the two same pots and you compare on what your top clocks are, this pot gives you more megahertz. More megahertz, more goodness. Just how it is. All right, so let's try it again, because we're running out of time. We jumped down T-Raz, like Sparky was saying. That's just some, what I like to do is try to start with the base ones first. We're just going to jump right to 1021. Play around. I might need a little bit more DDR. I'm gonna bump this up to 2. 1.5, and then we're gonna go 4.9 and 4.9. Right. All right. So now we're going to open up Benchmate. And like I said before, I hit the wrong button. Whoops. And like I said before, I'm going to have to change the description and also put Benchmade in there and then put Elmore Labs. Elmore Labs, I'm a huge fan. He's got some really cool stuff. His heater, I bought a couple of the heaters. I am not using it right now, but I'm going to switch over to it probably for next stream. But totally stoked. The guy is engineering. He's just, I've known it. It's crazy. I've known him for probably since 2010. I met him at MOA 2010, and man, it's just amazing to see how people not just grow up, but just kind of progress throughout like their career and stuff like that. And he's just a talented individual when it comes to engineering. So I highly recommend his products. Like I said, his thermometer is awesome. He's now got a backlit one, which is all. I'm going to have to upgrade to those. I'm just saying. And heaters. And he's got a bunch of cool little things. And I don't know. It's the kind of stuff that I like. I always like cool little technology bits. Even the smallest pieces are pretty damn cool. So the other thing is hopefully for next stream, I'll have the stream inlay. So basically, you're going to be able to see these temps on the screen. I had some issues. I basically try to figure out like what's going on with it. I couldn't get it working, and then Windows 10 did the update on the stream box, man. I didn't even know if we were going to be able to stream. I was like, oh, you guys are going to hate me. So, but yeah, so you'll notice right here, we're down to 200 or 26 instead of 28, and let's just see what that goes. So we're going to roll with that. I would do the minimize, but then you guys wouldn't be able to see anything and be kind of boring. So, all right, let's just get it down to about minus 50 and rock. So, let's see, I might have missed some questions here. Slacker Sloths. Saving to get me a reactor, broski. Which one to get? The TR version or the Intel version? Okay, that's a great point. So you have the TR version, and then you have the regular version. Now, this one is going to be the better pot. And I'm not going to say it's better in all aspects. It's because there's more surface area. He really pulled some engineering greatness in this. It has a lot more surface area to it. So, but the big problem with the TR pot is, look at that base. It needs to fit the TR chip. And when you want to go to like a smaller, like say Intel chip, this thing will work. But the problem is not a lot of the motherboards have a space that's that open. So you kind of have to be a little careful with it. I highly recommend both pots. You're going to need existing hardware. So just know that right off the bat. It's worth the extra cost to just do your own hardware. But I think as he builds and gets more going, I think he'll have some hardware with it. But just so you know. So to be honest, you're good with either one. But if you're gonna work on the smaller platform, I recommend the smaller one, just because it's simpler to fit. Right. The bigger one's not gonna fit on everyone. But if you can fit it, just get both. You know. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Please give us a close-up. Oh, actually, here. We can give a close-up for this. Let's see. Oh, that's goodness. Look how pretty that is. Like, this is awesome. I'm going to have to give it a lap job because it kind of got scratched up in delivery a little bit. But it is a beautiful pot. Shipping nowadays is just atrocious. I don't know how you guys have been having it, but I've had issues with delays, things getting broken. It's kind of been a nightmare. Tech tubing has not been what it was what I thought it would be. Like, I'm getting broken stuff in the mail, or when I'm supposed to get something, I get it like 2 months later instead of getting it when I was supposed to. Like, it's kind of been a huge cluster, and it's with everything in the industry. And it doesn't seem to be just related to PC tech. It's related to, like, camera tech, pretty much to anything electronics. It's kind of wild. All right, so it looks like we're improving a little bit. You'll notice from the initial value, we went from, like, 631 to 628, so that's a bonus. Hello. What's up, Lego Freak? Thanks, broski. I was wondering about the caps socket clearance myself. Now I need both. Yeah, that's the big problem, unfortunately, is that when you're building pots like this, it's almost impossible to have just one pot that does them all, right? It's really hard to be able to get to do that. So it's hard to say. But I am just totally stoked to use this on Threadripper. Oh my goodness. Like seriously, like this thing is awesome. Just from seeing how this one works, I am so stoked. I don't know. Maybe we'll save that one for Friday on Twitch. I don't know. But I'm debating on what I want to show you guys on Twitch. I'm trying to get everything going over there, so we're going to be... I haven't released the time yet, but I will definitely have it on pretty much every social media. So make sure you follow me. Join Patreon. Get access to Discord. Meet all the other Slackers. We have notifications of what I'm doing all the time over there. So that's your best way, but it costs you a couple bucks, you know? But it's worth it. All the guys over there are awesome. I picked up the TR reactor because I actually have a TR function, and functionally it'll fit on the Intel from my initial test. It's crapshoot getting stuff from Germany. Sometimes it takes a month. Sometimes it takes a week. Just depends. Isn't that the truth? I think when I first got this one, it took over a month to get this pot. And that wasn't anything due to shipping. It was more from customs, since it comes from Germany, and that messed it all up. So, but the next one I got within a week. So, who knows, man? It's kind of a crapshoot. It's not really something that you can do, so worry about. So the trick is if you're going to buy one, just expect it in at least a month, you know? Don't be, like, mad if it comes later. You already know about it, you know? It's just how it is. Magman, sometimes one size does not fit all. Yeah, so I need to beat Jay-Z 2 cents. Let's just say that we have something coming back on there. Maybe we're just going to have to bring back that Rip J series. I got a little bit too busy, and I was running into a lot of BIOS limitations. So we need to, I think we have some interesting stuff going on there. So, I don't know. You're going to have to stay tuned on that one. Nice! Look at that. Almost under 5 minutes and 6 seconds. How much time we got going here? Ooh, we got about 17 minutes. So let's do a bomb run. Let's see. We're gonna change some settings real quick though. We're gonna go a little bit lower, and I don't think I saved that, but oh well. At least it's on the tube. I follow King Slacker when King Slacker follows me. Don't be slacking over there. Let's see. So let's get over. I'm just gonna. Hello. Something hung. Something happened there. It hung. So we gotta reboot. Yeah, but I'm really excited about Twitch. I think it would be interesting because it's a little bit easier to set up streams and get into, like, I don't have to worry about too much with titling and all that, like where you have to do with YouTube. So I think it will be fun. I'm really stoked about it. I hope you guys are, because it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun work. So I've been really enjoying it. Let's see. Let's go down to 24. There's no reason why I'm going in twos. I'm just doing it just to kind of do it. So we're gonna. I'm gonna just try to boot it. This system is not fully optimized, by the way. This is just kind of a system I wanted to get running. This is something I wanted to build for you guys, so that way, if you're getting into it, you get to have some fun. You can play along at home if you want. How's your afternoon? My afternoon is great because you guys are here. I'm enjoying it because of you. I'm actually kind of sad to turn the stream off because I gotta go back to work. It's kind of killing me. I'm gonna be kind of sad. I'm gonna miss you guys. So what's crazy is that you notice how much LN2 that I've used? Not very much. Alright, let me get this up real quick. What do we say here? Yeah, I enjoy the platform. I would love to get a nice group of slackers over there regularly doing stuff and really building some hype for XOC. Yeah, that's what happens, man. You gotta keep doing it and keep playing around. As you learn, you'll get more. Let's see. We got 102. We've got a bunch over here. 1.5. 222. 1021. 2.1. And we gotta jump up on 49. Jump up on 49. And run. Right. So, try to get some runs in. I want to break that at least 5 minutes, 6 seconds barrier, you know? What I usually do is I try to set myself like a goal, set a goal for myself, like kind of what I want to accomplish for each each session, because sometimes you'll have some sessions that are just absolute crap. You'd be surprised. Like when we were in the beginning of this one, I felt like things weren't gonna work well. I don't know. It doesn't look very efficient. If you notice, the first initial loop is a little bit off. Might want to restart this. I'll just rerun it after a little bit. See what it does. Oh, it has been a while. I can't believe it's been that long for this. But it's great to be back. That way I'm not slacking so much. But what we need to do is get the likes up, though. Come on, slackers. The more likes you do, the more happy I will be. Too bad the algo was kind of probably killing me, but yeah. Alrighty. So we got about, let's see, think about another 15 minutes. 13 minutes, but we're getting close. Gotta work. Alright, so what do we got going? Alrighty. So what do we got going? Get us a nice and frosty Friday thing going coast to coast. Yeah, Friday, I think my schedule opened up a little bit. So I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to go streaming on Friday, but we will be streaming on Friday. So just so you know, we'll try it out on Twitch for a little bit, see how fun it is. Make sure you follow over there. I do want to do another stream on YouTube, though. Maybe over the weekend, do like an hour or two. We're going to do it in spurts. We'll do both platforms. I enjoy both platforms, so it's just trying to figure out all my issues. It's kind of hard on the YouTube side. So what we'll do is we'll concentrate on both, and hey, whatever one flies, each one flies. So, but yeah, it looks like we haven't got any errors yet, which is pretty unusual, especially with when you're benching memory. A lot of the times you end up starting to run where loop errors, where you basically will only go to like loop 11, then you got to figure out, well, maybe you need more voltage, right? So, might as well, yeah. Isn't that amazing? Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to set the memory higher. Whoops. So, it's kind of funny that I just talked about we haven't received any errors, and all of a sudden we get a bunch of errors. That's just how it is, though. Yeah, so for what I forgot to do is bump up VDDR a little bit. So what we're going to do is go to about, I think, the max that I really found that worked well was 2.02. Now, I wanted to get into a couple other things. So VCCIO and VSA, I don't even know why these are so low. I usually push these up quite a bit to like 1.6. And then VCCIO is not, actually, VCCIO is not even really used. It's the two real big memory voltages that you will use is VCCIO VSA and VCCIO2. So it's a little bit different on this platform compared to the older ones. What I mean by that is, say with a 10900K, you would use VSA and VCCIO. With the new platform, it's changed quite a bit where they've added this extra voltage. So just wanted to let you guys know about that, and let's try again. Oh, I'm already running. Need to run this, and we'll try it. Not sure if this is going to be the last one. Maybe we'll have one more running after this. I don't know. But yeah, so any more questions? So let's see, Rip J's Fridays. Let's see. Let Jay be famous. I just want to race hard and break stuff. He's trying very hard and doing really well. Yeah, Jay's doing all right, but when you have a BIOS that's given to you, when you don't have to figure out what's going on, it's a big difference. What I try to do is I actually figure out why things don't work, and I just don't rely on getting BIOSes from people that tell me why. Just use this BIOS. So it's a little bit different. That's why with the Strix it's quite a bit harder. ASUS hasn't really been supporting getting BIOSes and you need them. It's kind of crappy how it works. Basically, I can't do any liquid nitrogen overclocking without any support from the manufacturer, which is kind of sad and kind of stupid at the same time. Because if I wanted to bench, I shouldn't need the manufacturer to give me something. I should be able to have access to it. And unfortunately, NVIDIA basically blocks this, and only manufacturers can give you those specific BIOSes. And now, the BIOSes that are available for 3090, most of the public BIOSes they don't even give you what you need. One of the biggest things that most people don't know is if you're on a hard limit on 17,000 on Port Royal, the reason why you're at that limit is because your BIOS doesn't have access to the secondary voltage. So if you're hard modding a card and you want to look at another voltage, the BIOS wasn't allowing that voltage to be read, so it was limiting the overclock. NVIDIA dropped a BIOS, basically a liquid nitrogen BIOS, which exposed this extra voltage. So that was why I couldn't get past that 17,000 barrier. Now the 18,000 barrier is another issue when it comes to on the Asus platform. Their BIOS that I was able to get doesn't go over really 18,000. And there's a problem in there which is definitely related to the BIOS, and that's basically why I haven't beat his score. But it's not like someone's giving me BIOS and I'm not checking on what it is. So it's a little bit different, and there's a little bit more skill when you're actually trying to figure out why it's not going higher or why it's happening. Because what it seems to be is there's a current limit on the actual card itself, and it won't allow to go much higher. I'm going to try lower voltages on the SA. It seemed like it was working better before. I'm not sure what happened. It almost seemed like the BIOS reset and I went to a different BIOS. I don't know, but we're getting close. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. If you want to, like, if I really wanted to beat all of them, all I would have to do is get another card from another manufacturer, and it would be rather simple. So, from my point of view, I've been doing this for long enough that it's not that big of a deal. Let's see, 1.4. We're going to go back. I think, if I remember correctly, VSA, VSA is really more chip dependent. I found that this chip doesn't seem to like it. I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I ran through and really tested these out pretty strongly. So, let's see. Oh, but yeah. Only slacker I want to beat is George. Well, the problem is you're going to have to go against the KP BIOS. So Vince does all the BIOSes for them. So they don't really do any of the work. So it's a little bit different that way. It's just how it is. But yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, I know what I can do. I don't need to prove anything. I've been doing this for years. So it's kind of one of those things, if you're a newbie and you want to try to prove something, go for it, man. It's fun. I love the GPU stuff, but it's kind of stupid when I have to go with BIOS issues, and the reason why is the manufacturer doesn't allow you. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not that fun, I guess you can say. If you're limited by a manufacturer, what kind of fun is that, you know? It's kind of lame. So, that's why I'm starting to probably stick to more of the CPU stuff than the GPU stuff anymore. I'm not going to play that manufacturer, mine's better than your card, and all it is the difference is the BIOS. Because even if you take most of the cards, like say you have a Strix and compared to a KP, there's no difference. You take that Galax card, there's no difference. They want to make you believe that, but there really isn't. It's kind of funny almost. It's kind of comical. Because if you don't know all the inside information, then the public basically thinks that, oh, this card's really this much better, and it's really not. It's kind of funny. Because most of the scores that you see up there are mostly by binned cards. And the funny part is the ones that you see that are on the tail end bottom are not binned cards, and they're I think most of them are technically, most of the cards that are in the top 10 are basically binned. So it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of funny, but let's see. I see what you're saying. You want to push the hardware, not the software controlling it, and what your manufacturers are making you do. Exactly. And it's just stupid that you're getting limited by the manufacturers. And these guys are the ones that you're actually overclocking to show their stuff, but they won't give you the, so you can do it. To me, that makes no sense to me. I've always been a strong believer. If you're going to support, then you should support, not detract, you know? And who knows, man? That's just how the industry is pretty much made up. Everybody wants to keep their secrets and doesn't want to share to make their stuff look better, which is... really, in reality, there's really not much difference. That's the funny part. But now you guys know. That's just how it is, man. I don't make the rules, man. I just try to break them. But yeah, so we should be doing some 3090 stuff. I got to do some BIOS testing. That's another reason why we want to do Twitch, because then we can just kind of play around with it and do some 3090, and I'll show you exactly what the issues that I see, because most of the guys that are benching all that, they don't know. What happens is that there's like current limits. Like NVIDIA likes to put in current limits at certain stages, so once you hit to that current limit, and the easiest way to tell is because when you're adding voltage, you have to start balancing, and you might get a certain wall, but if you balance it so with lower voltage, that means you go under the current limit that they supply there, then you can get it to run. But it's kind of pointless, and to be honest, it's just a pain, because you have to then balance on around that at that limit, and then it just drives you nuts. To be honest, it loses its fun after a while, because all you're doing is just really remounting your pot and kind of just playing with it. So, which is not the most fun to me. I mean, it depends on what you like to do. If you like to do that, hey, that's what you'd like to do. I mean, I think Jay, if I remember correctly, Jay, like, I think broke down and redid, like, most of his stuff. Like, I think he redid his mount, like, 20, 30 times or something like that. It's kind of funny. It says, I hate weird secrecy on unlocked VBIOS. Yeah, so do I. But that's all what they do. The funniest part is that all the overclockers that are on the top ones, that's all they're doing. They don't do it. Vince does all the hard work for them, and they're just the LN2 monkeys. It's kind of funny in a way, but I guess people are happy with that. I'd be happier if we get a public BIOS that's actually public and it actually works. I don't know. We'll have to save that for another stream on Twitch or maybe on YouTube. Maybe we'll do that one on YouTube with Rip J or something. I don't know, but it looks like we're gonna be done. I gotta go back to my normal work, but I wanted to say, man, it was a great stream. We might not have got the most viewers or whatever, but it's not about the viewers. It's about having fun. I'm more about, this isn't making money for me. This is more making me, I don't know, have fun with you guys. So, like I said before, make sure you, I'm probably going to cut everything out and go back to work, but make sure you check out if you like the artwork that was on the thumbnail. Yhali is basically a very awesome, chill dude. He's check out his Instagram. It's in the description below. Also, make sure you follow all my social media outlets, basically Twitter, Instagram. I'm really active on Twitter, and also make sure follow on Patreon. Patreon, like I said before, it's like $2 a month. It'll probably go up to about $5. But you get Discord access, and in the Discord is if you need help with building your PC. Say you can't figure out something, come over and join and have all the other slackers help you out. So, but yeah, it says where you are Tuesday, where you live. I live in Florida, broski. But anyways, but yeah, so I think we're gonna call this stream. But guys, make sure, yeah, I don't know, stay tuned. Follow me on Twitch. We're going to be doing streams a lot more on YouTube, and so, like, if you guys don't want to do Twitch, that's cool, too. We're still going to be doing stuff on YouTube. We're not going to be doing any less of YouTube, so we'll be doing more either way, so. But, yeah, make sure you guys keep following, and, I don't know. I think that's it for today, but it was a great stream. Make sure you come for the next one. Slacker out. Later, broskies. Be good. Ha ha ha.